Hey everybody, it's Mike here from the MJ Amazon Furniture Company, and today I'm doing some reupholstering work in the showroom. One of the reasons, well actually there's two reasons why I'm working out in the showroom. One of them is my upholstery workshop is being renovated, so the showroom's going to have to pull double duty for a little while, at least until those renovations are completed. And the second reason is I have a very special sofa, and I'd like that to be reupholstered in the showroom so that people who come in can actually see this. It's interesting enough that I think people would be interested in it. So even if my upholstery workshop wasn't being renovated, I still would have this piece in the showroom. So I'll show you what we've got here. Right now I have this sofa turned upside down, and when I first took this apart, I was intrigued by the legs. These legs are really massive legs, and I thought that at first, because of the massiveness, that they must be pine. But on closer observation, I realized that these are actually a maple. And a couple of these legs actually have some nice bird's eye figure going on. Now, hopefully this will show up on the camera. You can see we've got a lot of bird's eye figure going on this leg, and on the side you can see as well. Well, hopefully you can see, and you can tell that this is very old because this maple is quite dark. Usually maple is a fairly light wood. I don't know if these have been stained or if it's just darkened with age. At this point it's hard to tell. Another aspect of this sofa that I found very interesting is the method of construction. You'll notice these frame rails are massive as well. I haven't measured them, but they almost look like they could be 4x4 posts. And there's also a series of holes that you can see here. These holes run around the whole perimeter of the frame. I'm suspecting that originally this sofa was supported by a rope foundation, similar to a rope bed. As you can see, at some time in the past somebody has added these zigzag springs, and although it's common in furniture with zigzag springs to have a cross member to support the frame rails, because the zigzag springs tend to make them bow in. Totally unnecessary on this frame. I find that really interesting that somebody would think that this would be at all necessary when you have these such massive posts on here. It's very interesting. So as you can see, I've started taking a lot of the tacks and the staples off. You can see where I've started removing the upholstery along the front rail on this sofa. It has a combination of both tacks and staples, and I'm going to continue to remove them along the front and the back and the sides. And when I get that loosened, I'll turn this up on its legs so everybody can see what it looks like when it's right side up. So here's the sofa on its legs, right side up. Give you an idea of what this actually looks like. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove the outside pieces, like the outside back, the outside arms. And I'm going to keep taking this off till we get all the cover fabric off. If anybody watching this is interested in a how-to reupholster video, I'd like to direct you to my video series on how to upholster a wing chair. Although this piece obviously is not a wing chair, all the same basic methods apply regardless of whether it's a sofa or a chair or a wing chair. The style and shape of the piece is not really at all, doesn't really have anything to do with the basic reupholstering methods, and those are thoroughly explained in How to Reupholster a Wing Chair. So yeah, if you want to learn how to reupholster and you'd like to learn the basics and even some advanced techniques, I encourage you to please watch that. This video series is not going to be a how-to series. Here I've removed the cushion on this sofa just to give you an idea of what it's like without it. This is an Empire styled sofa, and it's very unusual to find an Empire style that's fully upholstered. Unfortunately, I started stripping the upholstery off this before I did any video, and it had a skirt that had been added at some point. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on behind this upholstery. I don't know if I'm going to find wood that was exposed originally, or if this was originally all upholstered. I'm not sure at this point. Just that most Empire pieces you do see are not fully upholstered. They usually have finished wood, usually along the front, and also there's usually some exposed wood that goes along the back. We'll see what we find when we get into this. Removing the outside back, I found no surprises. This is exactly what I would expect to see in an Empire sofa. Solid wood back, usually pine. I would not have all been surprised to find hand forged square nails, but I've noticed that at some point somebody replaced some of these screws. Oftentimes you'll find screws in these, and you can see if I can get it in here for you. There you can see that's a new screw, and you can also see where some old screws have been removed. Also, along the back, you can tell the difference between the old and the new wood. Right in here, and more towards the middle. You can see the new wood there as well. At some point in time, and I would suspect probably at the same time that they put the zigzag springs in, this sofa had been restyled. See this area here. Originally, this would have had a straight back. And of course it would have had a curve. You can see the curve it would have had originally. A little tighter radius than what someone has added to it. Here I have the sofa finally completely stripped down as far as I think I need to go. The arms have an actual rubberized horsehair mat that is in usable shape. I took the cotton off from there, and I will be applying new cotton. And you can see the deck has been removed. You can clearly see the zigzag springs. You can also see the holes where the rope used to come through, and there are corresponding holes on the other side, and there's also holes on the sides to go crosswise. This frame is cut on an angle here so that when people sit down they don't have to feel that hard frame member on their legs. So here I have reattached the new burlap. Over this I will be adding the horsehair and some cotton padding.